When it comes to rocket launchers, it's hard to ignore HIMARS. Its engineers describe it as the most technically advanced, affordable and sustainable artillery solution. This is one of the main reasons why they've been donated to Ukraine to help defend their country. HIMARS has been a game changer in the war, but why is that the case? What makes this rocket launcher and its rocket so dangerous and in a world-leading class? That's what we're going to look at today in this video. HIMARS stands for High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, and its name tells you everything about why it's so useful. Not only is it a very powerful rocket launching system, but it's also very transportable, meaning that it's easy and quick to get it to where it needs to be on the battlefield. The creation of HIMARS was driven by the need to equip infantry, airborne and rapid deployment units with high mobile rocket launchers suitable for airlift to anywhere they were needed. In early 2004, the production testing of the HIMARS combat vehicle was completed. During one of the tests, a C-130 plane successfully delivered to Fort Sill Eastern Firing Range at Oklahoma in less than 5 minutes. The vehicle was unloaded. It then received a mission via combat data and fired off 6 training rockets. HIMARS became a lighter version of the M270 MLRS predecessor and entered into service with the US Army and Marine Corps in 2005. 900 launchers were planned to be built, but reports suggest only 540 MARS launchers were built. Instead, the first certified unit to have HIMARS was the 3rd Division and 27th Field Artillery Regiment, 18th Airborne Corps. The HIMARS system features an M1 for fighting vehicle transport and charging vehicle on guided and guided rockets, which we'll explain in more detail later, and fire control equipment. The M1 for vehicle is made of a modified chassis of a 5-ton truck with 6x6 wheel configuration. The engine is a Caterpillar 311680 AC diesel with gas turbine supercharging, 6.6 liter, and has 290 horsepower at 2,600 RPM. It also has 6 cylinders of reserve but 56 gallons and a power reserve of 480 kilometers. The vehicle's transmission is an Allison automatic 7-speed gearbox. The suspension on the M1 for is parabolic with leaf springs. It is a very useful ground clearance of 564 mm, which helps you overcome water obstacles with the depth of almost a meter. The system can fire an array of rockets, and reloading is made by the crew in only 45 minutes. They're helped by an integrated crane and escorted by an MTV or Mark 37 resupply vehicle. This truck carries 2 sets of reload rockets and is also fitted with an integral crane if needed. It can also tow a trailer with 2 more pods. The real loading process is done remotely from a firing position. This is done to avoid counter battery fire. Pods with rockets can be unloaded in various locations down an arranged route. The launch vehicle travels from one location to another, loads a new board with rockets, fires them immediately, and then travels to another location to pick up a new pod. All of these traits help HIMARS to be ultra portable. Another reason why this is the case is the portability of the whole system itself. This artillery, the system can be airlifted by a C-130 Hercules aircraft. This plane can only carry a single HIMARS at any one time. For more artillery, the larger C-17 Globemaster III can carry 3 loaded or for empty HIMARS systems if needed. This artillery system is rapidly deployable. Any can be airlifted anywhere in the world. On top of this, the wheeled vehicles can self-deploy over long distances if required. In terms of the rockets that HIMARS can fire, this is easily adjustable depending on the mission needed. M26 was the baseline 227mm rocket. It's 3.96 meters long and weighs 307 kilograms. This rocket had a range of 32 kilometers and fitted with a 120 kilograms dual-purpose warhead, quick-wit 644 bomblets. These stats made it highly effective against troops and vehicles. Then there's the M30 guided rockets or guided multiple launch rockets system. Other names for this include guided MLRS or GMLRS. It was built to counter the threat of hostile long-range rocket and cannon Artillery. It was replacement for the basic M26 rockets and other day-font weaponry. GMLRS has a 65 to 70 km range and its built-in GPS means it has a much higher accuracy and its predecessors. It's fitted with a dual-purpose warhead with 400 for bomblets. The M30 provides the same number of hits as the M26 and M26A2, but fewer rockets are needed to hit the target now, and 30A1 and M31 a wide variants have taken over the original M30. GMLRS HIMARS is also capable of launching the Army Tactical Missile System or ATACMS. These rockets are designed to engage point targets such as command posts, missile launchers, air defense facilities, communications centers, warehouses of fuel and lubricants located in heavily guarded areas. Any conditions, day or night. Right, it performs its flight along the semi-ballistic trajectory when its initial acceleration is carried out on a pre-programmed rigid trajectory. After this, the flight is then in a controlled mode. The missile is controlled by aerodynamic rotors using signals from the onboard control system, which uses real-time information to adjust the angle of impact. It can be launched at an angle to the firing plane at ranges less than the maximum, which hides the coordinates of the starting position. ATACMS has recently been in the news as part of the defense package that Ukraine has received, but another type of rocket has also been in the headlines for the same reason. This is the ground-launched small diameter ball or GLSDB, as designed by Saab and Boeing. These rockets are highly effective at long ranges against moving targets. The system uses an existing weapon paired with a rocket motor. The difference between GLSDB and traditional artillery weapons is that it offers 360-degree coverage for high and low angle of attack. In real terms, this means the weapon can fly around mountains to hit the enemy, or it can even circle back around to a target behind where the rocket was launched. It has a range of 93 miles in front of the launch vehicle, or alternatively you could hit targets 43 miles behind it. This system has proved highly popular with its allies around the world and has been exported to Jordan, Singapore and the United Arab Emirates. There are also other countries that have been considering purchasing the system. In 2022, Estonia ordered 6 HIMARS systems, and in 2023 Taiwan plans to purchase 29 HIMARS vehicles. More famously, 16 HIMARS systems were delivered Ukraine in order to help their defense against the Russian invasion. These proved to be an extremely accurate and deadly system for the Ukrainian army. Multiple Russian command posts, ammunition storages and concentrations of troops and armored vehicles as well as bridges were taken out by HIMARS. More significantly, the location of a lot of these targets were well back from the Russian front lines. Raw Russian air defenses struggled to cope with the accuracy of the attacks, and in comparison to Russian equivalents, HIMARS proved to have a better range and accuracy. Deliveries of HIMARS and M270 LRS systems Ukraine have made a huge difference in the narrative of the Ukrainian war. As Lockheed Martin says, HIMARS is the most cost-effective yet destructive weapons available. This has made it an excellent addition to the Ukrainian defenses. Its versatility but super quick deployment speeds means it can be introduced to any part of the battlefield in record time, and once it's set up, rockets like ATACMS, GMLRS, AGLSDEB have shown to be deadly accurate at a variety of ranges. As the war in Ukraine progresses, it's not known what will be its conclusion, but what is known is that HIMARS is having a massive impact of protecting Ukraine and its people with devastating impact. What do you think about the HIMARS? Let us know in the comments below. Employees, like this video if you've enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this one, that subscribed World Military News for more. Thanks for watching. Germans are a world renowned for their excellent engineering, and when Rheinmetall started drawing up plans for a new infantry fighting vehicle, the world stood up and took notice. After years of development, the Lynx is now starting to enter service. 2 main variants of this idea, and the more recent one represents perhaps one of the heaviest and well protected I have these ever me. Let's take a closer look at this military beast. Military operations are growing increasingly complex and hard to predict. This makes a completely new vehicle concept important to keep up with an ever-changing battlefield. As a result, the Lynx was developed to be highly adaptable. The first Lynx, known as the KF-31I IFTHA, was introduced in 2016. The letters KF and the designation stand for Kitten Far as Your Tracked Vehicle. In 2018, an improved Lynx KA-41 Whisper shown to the public. It is a slightly larger vehicle that can accommodate more troops and is a more powerful engine. The Chaos 41 Lynx is longer than the earlier version. The KF-31 measures 7.22 meters whereas the KA-41 Lynx measures 7.73 meters. It also weighs in at 44 times, which is 10 tons more than the KF-31. The Kia 41 has been too. The M10 Booker is set to become the future of armored fighting vehicles as the winner of the U.S. Army's Mobile Protected Firepower program. This vehicle has the potential to be an ever-present feature for the most powerful army in the world. Let's discover why this monster was chosen for future development and when we can expect to see the Mountain Booker to take the battlefield. In 2016, reports suggested that the Army wanted to create a white ground combat vehicle to maintain the relevance of infantry brigade combat team when engaged in extensive fighting against a similar enemy. At first this was dubbed a light tank, but US Army has renamed this program to Mobile Protected Firepower so that troops didn't treat it like a traditional tank like the M1 Abrams main battle tank. The vehicle, with a heavy gun and tank-like mobility, is less armored than an MBT like the M1. It's designed to go places the Abrams can't and to fight against enemy vehicles, defenses and forces without needing this super heavy armor that weighs down battle tanks. The MPS development gave an excellent opportunity to fill a void left by the retirement of the Empire 51 shared and armored reconnaissance airborne assault vehicle. The M551 did have technical flaws, but it was greatly appreciated for its robust operational abilities. This left a gap that needed filling. In 2018, the Army selected bids from General Dynamics Land Systems and BAE East Systems to develop their design to fit the MPF brief. Prototypes of GDL as is Griffin II and BAE's AAGS were sent to the Army at the beginning of 2020. 2 years later, BAE submission was disqualified and the Army selected the GDR-less model for initial production later that year. In 2023, the Army type reclassified the vehicle as the M10 Booker. Later that year, the US Army revealed the award of a $1.14 billion contract to GDL for the production and fielding of up to 96 of these vehicles. The KF-41 Lynx has a unique design using a common drive module and flexible mission kit arrangement to allow any base vehicle to be configured as an infantry fighting vehicle, an armored personnel carrier, a command vehicle, a recovery vehicle, or an ambulance. The driver position is located at the front left side of the hull. It has 3 large vision blocks offering world-leading front and side vision. The mission kit includes a drop-in roof plate that can be fitted to any drive module with associated equipment. To create a Lynx variant, it only takes 8 hours for a mission kit to be exchanged and the protection configuration modified. The crew compartment is designed as a mission-neutral space with the incorporation of C-rails and a pattern of universal fixing points on the walls and floors. The space inside the Lynx KF-41 drive module is unrivaled for a tracked infantry fighting vehicle with a manned turret. 8 dismount seats can be seen folded up with the lance to point out turret basket in the background. The Doctor module has space for up to 9 blast-reducing troop seats in addition to a crew of 3 in the case of a manned Plants 2.0 Terry. The infantry men enter and leave the vehicle through a large power-operated ramp maneuvered at the rear of the shared drive module position between the cooling systems. The modular survivability systems of the buildings provide unprecedented flexibility to cope with a wide variety of threats. Face the ballistic in mind protection packages and be easily exchanged even in the field if needed. While the full spectrum of threats has been taken into account, including roof protection against cluster munitions, the Lance turret is designed with an integral ballistic protection cell for the crew. There are no weapons or ammunition stowed in his cell as the main and coaxial weapons are fitted in cradles at the front of and external to the cell. The main armament ammunition is stowed in a separate compartment that wraps around the sides and rear of the turret. The mission pod can contain to spike like L-2 long-range anti-tank guided missiles, suicide drones, unmanned aerial vehicles, electronic warfare packages, surface-to-air missiles, or various other systems. The KF-41 Lynx has a power pack in the front of the hull including a 1,140 horsepower lever engine and a proven
final
drives are
transmission.
mounted in the front, and the idle or rockets with track tension are mounted at the rear. The running gear has 6 road wheel stations per side which guide a lightweight and connector track. The Lynx uses an advanced military suspension system which is designed to withstand extreme force, and the bump stops are engineered to reduce intense shocks. That propulsion system gives a max speed of 70 km per hour and an operational range of 500 km. Standard equipment of the K-41 Lynx includes heating, air conditioning, fire suppression, cooling, and nuclear, biological, and chemical filtration systems combined, and an environmental control system. The vehicle is also fitted with a self-protection system including the Rheinmetall 40mm rapid obscure Asian system and active protection system designed to prevent line-of-sight guided anti-tank missiles from acquiring and/or destroying a target. The vehicle design also presents low visual, thermal, and acoustic signatures to improve battlefield survivability. The target of the K-41 length is equipped with an electro-optical sensor system, panoramic sight with an integrated laser range finder, and FCS for the commander and gunner, laser warning system, acoustic shooter locating system, situational awareness system featuring day-night vision and automatic target recognition and video processing and distribution unit. The optronics enables the turret crew to have unrestricted and class-leading capabilities for automatic detection, recognition, and identification of targets whilst maintaining observation that day and night while staying protected inside the turret. There is a 360-degree independent digital sight for that commander and a digital sight for the gunner. The Lynx KF-41 was submitted for Australian and Czech for human programs in 2018. A single Lynx KA-41 was presented on a military parade and cutter, however the status of the Qatar vehicle is unclear. In 2020 the Lynx was selected by Hungary and a total of 218 of these armored vehicles were ordered. These will be produced in Hungary by a joint venture. The first batch of 46 vehicles is planned to be delivered to the Hungarian military this year. The Lynx is expected to be picked up by armies the world over as it is one of the most adaptable and powerful vehicles in its class. What do you think about the Lynx? I have to let us know in the comments, and please like this video if you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Main battle tanks are key military weapons as they provide direct fire and durability on the battlefield. Today it's common to see military units that second system main battle tanks only, as these weapons are advanced enough to perform operations without other units. In recent years their impressive development lead to awesome machines with very powerful armor in high-tech systems. The M1 Abrams family of main battle tanks, which entered service in 1980 as America's contribution of such weapons. Over the years there have been extensive improvements to this incredible machine, and it still serves as the main battle tank of the United States Army. In this video we're going to take a look at how it all started and how it is improved. The emblem Abrams main battle tank was developed by Chrysler Defense, now General Dynamics Lane Systems, with production starting in the 1970s. This main battle tank was named in honor of General Abrams, commander of his forces during the Vietnam War. It first entered service in 1980. Produce for the US Army from 1978 until 1992. The M101 entered production in 1985, found by the end when A2 in 1986 during Operation Desert Storm. 2001 Abrams tanks were used. The emblem proved vastly superior and not a single tag was destroyed by enemy fire. Since then the Army has modernized its M1 inventory with a series of upgrades to improve the tank's capabilities. The M1 Abrams features composite armor similar to British Cobham, which features multiple layers of steel and ceramics. It may also be fitted with explosive reactive armor. Interior of the tank is lined with Kevlar, protecting the crew against balling. Ammunition is stored in the turret bustle will blow R panels. It is V with the N68, a 105mm rifled gun which is loaded manually. The M1 is compatible with all standard NATO 1 of 5mm take ammunition, a total of 55 75 rounds are carried for the main gun, including 44 rounds stored in the term bustle and 11 rounds stored in protective containers inside the hull. This tank is a modern fire control system with a high first hit probability. It can destroy tank-sized targets. The overall objective is for 504 vehicles in total with 14 MPS per brigade combat team. There are 2 people, both no longer with this, who have the surname Booker and are specifically honored in the naming. The first is Robert de Booker. He was a soldier who fought as part of the US Army and North Africa 1943 when fighting against Axis forces, and World War II. He used his machine gun to defeat one machine gun nest and, despite receiving fatal injuries, guided his squad as they advanced. For these actions he was awarded posthumous Medal of Honor. The second person honored is Stephen A. Booker. He was among the tank crew leading the April 2003 assault on Baghdad. After the mounted machine gun failed to operate, he laid prone on top of the tank and guided his unit to defeat anti-tank fire. He was also fatally wounded during these actions and was awarded posthumous Distinguished Service Cross. Now both will live on through this new vehicle that is set to be part of the US Army's plans for decades. The design of the M10 book is conventional, with the driver and engine at the front with the IT located at the rear of the hull. The turret houses a crew of a commander, gunner and loader. The design of this turret is based on the M1 Abrams tank, using the M1A to set the 3 fire control system and the commander's independent thermal viewer. The vehicle also uses components and systems from the ACAD armored tracked vehicle platform, which is fully designed and developed by General Dynamics European Land Systems. The Booker also has additional armor panels and under-vehicle protection against improvised explosive devices or the additional safety of the crew. The design incorporates a tested compartmentalization system for ammunition storage. One of the most important improvements over the M1 is the M256 120mm smoothbore gun, originally developed by Rheinmetall and produced in the USA under license. This gun is loaded manually and the ammunition load was decreased to 40 rounds due to its larger size. The M1A1 Abrams has a range of effective fire and access is of 4 km, which was successfully demonstrated during Operation Desert Storm and 1991. A special an 829 AT armor-piercing round was developed for the M1A1 to counter the threat possessed by the latest at the time Soviet-Russia main battle tanks. The M1 AT Abrams main battle tank is a further development of the M1A1. Currently it is one of the best main battle tanks in the world. It is planned that this tank will remain in service beyond 2050. Protection of the end when he too was improved by using depleted uranium mesh at the front of the hull. Enter it off significant protection against all known anti-tank weapons. However, overall weight increased to 62.5 tons. Protection of the M1 AT Abrams is considered to be one of the best in the world. The tanks can be fitted with ACTS posts or reactor armor blocks, and some tanks are equipped with missile countermeasure devices intended to detect and jam guidance of the laser-guided missiles. The M1 AT has an improved fire control system and its components' range of effective fire is in excess of 4 km. This tank has a target acquisition system with hunter-killer capability, whereas many tanks produced in the early 90s lack this capability. This main battle tank will be airlifted by Sci-Fi Galaxy or C-17 Globemaster III military transport aircraft. IITHEM-1 AT SAP or System Enhancement Program variant is his successor to the M1A2. It has improved armor protection, improved system components, improved computer components and some other improvements. The SET-2 is fitted with a remotely operated weapon station armed with 12.7mm machine gun. The first and when AT SIP tag was delivered to the US Army and 1999 there at least 901 AT SEP tanks in service. 240 of them were newly built, the others were upgraded to the standard from the M1 and 1A1 in M1A2 tanks. The Tank Urban Survival Kit was developed for the Abrams series tanks to improve their survivability in an urban environment. What's the kids applied? The tank has improved protection, firepower and situational awareness. The kit can be applied by the units in field conditions. The 73 is that current production version of the Abrams tank. This version rectifies many of the space, weight and power issues issues identified during Operation Iraqi Freedom. Improvements focus on increasing the electrical power margin, vehicle health management systems, integrated counter-improvised explosive device protection, a new auxiliary power unit enabling silent watch, embedded training in an ammunition data link. It is the most reliable Abrams tank ever produced. The Set-the-For is the most lethal Abrams tank and is now in development, featuring the third-generation forward-looking infrared cameras, the cornerstone technology that will provide tank crews the ability to identify enemy tanks farther than ever before. With the upgrade, the Abrams will integrate a color camera, eye-save laser range finder, a cross-platform laser pointer to facilitate multi-domain battle into the commander's sight. This program began early enough to onboard any technology the Army deems critical to the future battlefield, to include artificial intelligence, autonomy, APS, or advanced sensors. The Abrams main battle tank closes with and destroys the enemy using mobility, firepower and shock effect as a full-tracked, low-profile land combat assault weapon, enabling expeditionary warfighters to dominate their adversaries through lethal firepower, unparalleled survivability and audacious maneuver. This tank sends a clear message to those who oppose the United States as to the resolve, capability and might have the US Army. What do you think of the insane power of the Abrams? Let us know in the comments, and please like this video if you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Sometimes the old ways are the best. That's certainly the case with a Gepard air defense system. This anti-aircraft weapon was developed decades ago but still represents some of the most trusted weaponry when it comes to defending land from aerial threat. It's proved that effective engineering can stand the test of time and become a staple of the battlefield, even at that fast-paced way. It's movie. Let's take a closer look at the Gepard air defense system. The Gepard AK, German for cheetah, is a self-propelled anti-aircraft gun that was developed in the 1960s as a private venture. In 1966, the Germans needed a replacement for the M42 gun, which was already obsolete. Its prototypes were built in 1968 and it entered military service with the Boonies War in 1973. Known as the Flag Panzer I Gepard, a total of a massive 420 of these vehicles were built for the German army. Its role is to protect combat units, troops and key installations against air attacks. Its radar, which is used to lock on the targets, is thought to be so accurate that it can lock onto birds to take out its target. The Gepard is fitted with a two-man electric power-operated turret armed with twin Ariela kind KD-8 35mm guns. The guns work with an automatic belt feed and each barrel length is 90 calibers or 3,150mm. The rate of fire with the two barrels is 1,100 rounds a minute. Each 35mm gun has 320 rounds of ready-to-fire anti-air ammunition and 20 rounds of anti-ground target ammunition. The guns are able to fire a range of standardized 35mm ammunition, including the new fragile armor-piercing discarding sabot or FAPTS rounds. These rounds have a muzzle velocity greater than 1,400 meters a second. The Gepard is also equipped with 8 smoke discharges installed on either side of the turret. Current Gepard engineers KMW developed a missile system for the vehicle using the Stinger surface-to-air missile system. Stinger launching system was fitted under the side of the 35mm twin gun on a single unit. The system was tested but was not deployed due to financial constraints. The system has a digital fire control computer supplied by European Aeronautic Defence and Space. The miniaturized digital computer uses 32-bit Motorola 68020 microprocessors, single-board computers with dedicated arithmetic coprocessors and a command control and communications interface. All the data handled by the fire control system is related to the fixed vehicle coordinate system, but it's the radar that's the real strength of this weapon system. The Gepard is independent search and tracking radars. The search radar is installed at the front rear of the turret and the tracking radar is on the rear front of the turret. The radars get 360-degree scanning with simultaneous target tracking, clutter suppression, search on the move capability and mono-post tracking mode. The S-band search radar installed on the original version of the Gepard has a range of 15 kilometers and some clutter visibility of 60 decibels. The vehicle's design is based on the tracked armor chassis of the Leopard 1 main battle tank. The significant difference is the original target is removed and replaced by a two-man anti-aircraft gun system. It is operated by a crew of 3 including a driver, commander and gunner. The driver is seated at the front of the hull on the right side. The turret is mounted in the center of the hull with the commander seated on the left and the gunner on the right. The turret and the hull of the gap art are of all welded steel construction to give protection against the firing of small arms and artillery shells splinters. This air defense system is powered by an empty UNB-838 CAM 510-cylinder multi-fuel engine giving 830 horsepower at 2200 RPM. It has the same suspension and tracks as the Leopard 1 that it's based on, which has 7 dual light metal rubber tired road wheels with the drive sprocket at the rear idle or at the front end for track return rollers on either side. It can climb a gradient of 60% and the vertical obstacle of 1.15 meters if needed. The Gepard can cross a trench of 3 meters and has a fording depth of 2.5 meters. The weapon has proved to be highly popular worldwide. In February 2022, it was announced that parent company KMW would deliver 50 decommissioned Gepard anti-aircraft tracked armored vehicles to Ukraine as part of Russia countermeasures following the invasion by Russia. This anti-aircraft weapon is currently also in service with Germany, Brazil, Chile, Jordan, Romania and the Netherlands. There have also been several more deliveries of Gepard units to Ukraine following the initial support package. All of this shows that despite the fact that this weapon was designed in the 60s, it's still one of the most reliable anti-aircraft vehicles available worldwide. What do you think about the Gepard? Let us know in the comments and please like this video if you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this one, then subscribe to Spotlight for more. Thanks for watching.